What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and in today's video we're covering pretty much the summary of Live Letter that's covering 4.4. If you missed it last night, they kicked off the 14-hour live stream event with the new Live Letter, lots of introductions, and I just want to say thanks to Thamriel and to Chris who joined me over on Twitch as we kind of pretty much talked about the reveals as they came about. If you're not aware or haven't really seen a part 2 for the Live Letters covering any particular patch, a first part of this was covering the summary of what they've already announced. So new main scenario, we're obviously getting raids, new Hildebrand, new side story quests, what are the dungeons, the burn, and Saint, I can't pronounce it, we'll just say Saint's Arboretum hard mode is coming back. But with 4.4, with the second part, they get to dive in and usually show a lot of gameplay, and we got a lot of interesting information out of this patch. Obviously, the first boss for Alphascape has been revealed, and that is Chaos from Final Fantasy I. Now, rumors and speculation at this point, it is rumored that there are other bosses, and they might not actually relate to Final Fantasy, meaning that we're hearing that it could be Mitskor Sormer, Adam and Eve from Nier, and then finally Omega himself for the 4th tier for this Alphascape kind of approach. We'll have to wait and see. Don't quote me on it. It would be interesting to see that kind of thing. A lot of speculation and hope was maybe that Sephiroth would make his appearance at this time, but I would say, kind of jumping ahead, they teased a little bit of 5.0 in the form of minions. We knew we were getting the motorcycle bike that plays the music from Final Fantasy VII when you're riding it. But we're seeing that we're going to get Tifa, Aerith, or Aeris, depending on where you're at, and Cloud as the minions for the various fan festivals, and you can also purchase these individually for $7 on the MOG station, being that in the past that you had to pay for the live stream, now you don't, it's open for all, and if you want the stuff, the items from it, you can just purchase those independently, which is pretty cool. I actually kind of think I'd rather have that approach, because we paid for the live streams each time last time. Now you're not going to be locked out of the information. You're going to be able to kind of have you can choose to be able to get the rewards if you so want, and you can still get the information as well. So again, like they talked about anniversaries, coming for marriages. They talked about captain rank coming for the Grand Company. New tombstones obviously are being added, and an alarm or an alert has been added. Minion guides being updated with a search and favorites feature. The hope is, they didn't confirm this, but the hope is that with that favorites feature, the roulette, minion roulette and mount roulette would be updated to take that into account. If not this patch, hopefully that's the direction they're going. That's a #1 feedback that we've had of the roulette. I hate the mana cutter, and I would love not to see it. So I actually got rid of roulette because I was tired of it coming up. And I've got plenty of things. The game's like, we know you don't like this one. That's kind of the summary. The Hells Kier piece, I want to talk about that, looks gorgeous. This is the new Primal fight. Very Phoenix inspired. In fact, as Yoshi P was playing, there's a part where these dead birds are on the floor and they come to life. It's truly pretty epic and magical at that point. So I'm very much excited to see how that fight goes from here. Obviously, Chaos looks really interesting. The level design behind it is beautiful. That's what I said. I was like, wow, that just the skybox of the Chaos fight looks great. You can fall off the edge. Yoshi P tried to jump off in Hells Kier, and I'm wondering, probably in the extreme version, those rails can get destroyed, if not even in the hard version, or if they're gone in the extreme version of those fights. I'm really interested to see where they take us, because they said the 4.4 trailer was not ready to be shown at this time, so we're going to get that at a later date. The big kicker is the 18th is the day of the patch, so it's only a couple of weeks away, 2 weeks from this Tuesday, which is for me Dragon Quest XI day. So I've got 2 weeks to be able to pour myself into Dragon Quest XI before this drops. The big takeaway, I'm obviously excited about the raid. I'm obviously interested in the new Primal fight. The big takeaway is the Hidden Canals of Uznair. I really, really, really adore that content. And what they showed, it kind of made me go like, okay, we're getting somewhere here. We're getting somewhere, something that I think would be fascinating. And it's almost a boss rush mode. You kind of roll the dice, it kind of, picks a reward, and then it throws a boss at you. And it doesn't, I don't know yet the difficulty of that boss, and I don't know what the pool of different bosses that can pull from, but it's exciting. At some point, you're going to get kicked out, and it makes me go like, okay, now that they've got this, what step do they need to take to literally just say kind of an endless boss rush mode. You go until you fail. That seems something like that would be interesting to me, to take all these different primals and bosses and things like that, and all of a sudden it's like, we're going to throw the gambit at you, and as you advance further, it's going to get more and more difficult, and you go until you fail. Almost kind of a take on Heaven on High. Now, that's not what they've announced, but that's what Uznair, both some of my favorite content, and at the same time being able to see that refreshed. One important key detail that they do as a part of this is that they usually increase the item level and the difficulty of the content. So it's been coming out, and every time that the gear level raises, they increase the difficulty of Uznair, which I think is important, because that way it keeps it relevant and it keeps it challenging to a degree. Now, personally, I wish they'd bring in, again, dynamic difficulty adjustment to the content itself, because primarily it would be easy to say, like, well, we're in with 4 people, now we're in with 8. Let the game kind of say, hey, let's make it a little harder because you're bringing in 8 people with the content itself. But it's good. It's really good content. I'm actually the most excited about it. They showed off a jumping puzzle. They showed off a lot of stuff. They brought on the kind of the lead quest designer, talking about how they dress NPCs and things like that. And that's kind of where my body started tuning out, because it was pretty late at that time. But again, I think they're showing off some interesting things. The key thing, and I'm, not, people can accuse me of being negative lately, there wasn't a real big, awesome moment. There were, Uznair looks great. That's actually the thing that I'm most excited about. But there wasn't that, like, oh my gosh, like, this is the thing they've been working on, or this is the big reveal. And this is okay in the long run. It's like, it is 4.4. They did confirm that Hildebrand and Eureka are going to be patched 4.45, as opposed to having to wait for 4.6 or something like that. New Eureka zone. They're bringing in what's called the Logos system. People were thinking that Logos was the name of the region. It is not. Logos is apparently a way that you can switch your role. And I've said this, and I said this on the live stream, Eureka feels like a version of their public test realm, meaning that they're able to do a lot of unique and interesting things and see what works and try different things. It'll be interesting to see if some of these changes and some of these things they're doing bleed into the rest of the game at some point. And so Eureka is both, we called it, Thamriel was saying, the relic test realm, or he was Midnight over in chat saying like that. So instead of a public test realm, we have the relic test realm. And that's what Eureka kind of feels like, and that's where it's interesting to see that both are coming with patch 4.45, which, if we're getting this in September, I would bet is out before the end of the year. This would be something around the Christmas season as well. So that's, I think I've hit every high note that's there. Obviously, the low note is nothing huge or earth-shattering or just amazing. And maybe they're saving that for 5.0. I'm trying not to build up expectations where expectations don't exist. As far as it goes, I'm really interested in obviously checking out the story. I think that's hugely important. It's going to give us a lot of insight as to where we're going. I think the raid is going to be really interesting and important. This is going to be the last tier of gear increase. So for anybody who's on the fence about coming back, this would be a good time to come back to be able to get yourself game ready for 5.0. You can always take a break and wait for 4.5 itself, because then there'll also be more ways of gearing up. Typically, in the past, if we're probably going to see a longer tier patch cycle from 4.5 to 5.0. So if that holds to be true as well, kind of try to plan accordingly. Also look at what games are coming out. If we're going to see 4.5 sometime probably in February, note that there's a ton of other games coming out in February. So plan your next 6 to 9 months accordingly as to what works best for your schedule for this game and for other games that you might want to play. So anyway, sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I'm dealing with a cold. I hope this has been informative. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Again, thanks to Thamriel and to Chris for hanging out. Thanks for all who joined us over on the live stream last night. It was a lot of fun. We're going to have to try to do that more in the future, covering these events, because nobody here speaks Japanese. Thanks to the Reddit community for obviously doing the live translations, helping to kind of feed in this bit of information. And I didn't have it in my notes, but I do remember Sam, Red Mage, Black Mage, all getting buffs. Everybody seems to be getting buffs, even more powerful. A lot of chat was saying delete Samurai, which I disagree with. Samurai is amazing. But at the end of the day, getting buffs for the jobs. As to what specifically, we're going to have to wait for the patch notes, which according to tradition should be sometime around the 14th or 15th, depending on what Friday that is before the 18th. which is when this game is set to go live. So, like I said, my name's Brian. This is Worked Game. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Let's have that conversation. But I hope you have a fantastic day. Hopefully you got something to be excited about with this update. Hopefully I covered it all. If I haven't, I do apologize. I'll include a link. There's a great, great website if you haven't heard of it, Nova Crystallis. They've gotten a lot of this also written up as well. So I'll include a link to those. If I missed anything, you can go read their written summary of the event as well. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Hey, it's me. Thanks so much for watching this video. You should click here to subscribe and here to maybe check out some more of our videos. So again, thanks for watching. We hope you like this video. We hope you subscribe and join our community. Let us know in the comments below what you think, and we'll see you next time. Bye.